Excuse me. I am Fred. I haven't gone streamed in a while, so I'm going to talk even though it says no one's watching, because hopefully someone will find this and watch. Always have that nasal cough. Please subscribe. So for the people who kind of watch this, and we understand Chloe's coming to join me, that there's, stuff going on in the news, big things with Jimmy Kimmel, and Chloe follows announcements. So I don't think I'll get a lot of people now. All right, I'll give Chloe her spot, but maybe it'll catch you up. Let me see what Greg just said. Jordan Peele's new movie. Uh, hey, okay, let me. I do have some Sam Kennison stories. Okay, let me. Okay, let me. Okay, okay. Excuse me. So I usually stream with Cody Shank, and he's been really busy, and he illustrates stories I write for Substack. Again, please subscribe here to my YouTube channel. Please subscribe to my Substack channel. So Cody has taken a day job at that. I forgot what the name of that chain is, department store, and he likes carrying heavy things. He likes building himself up. So he's exhausted. Not just that, but God, he has been working really hard. I don't know if you know, I'm going to be in Toledo, Ohio, the Mommy Film Festival. I think it's spelled Maumee. And I'll answer your questions in a second. Um, and he's going to make a little comic book. We're going to self publish. He's been working on a really cool cover. He's working on uh, putting together stories. We just uploaded another Substack story about a very personal story about Andy Paley. My hat's crooked. And I miss him. I miss doing these streams. So we spent a lot of hours last night. He was working on the stuff I'm talking about: T-shirts, Dumb and Dumber T-shirts for the festival, a comic book, a cover, and we uploaded our latest Substack story. And I haven't done this in a while, so I thought I would just try to get some of those watch hours in, just talk for a few minutes without Cody, because eventually I hope to get watch hours in where we can do, what are those called? Don't, oh, I'm getting scared. I can't think of super chats for Cody. So I thought I would just come on, answer a few questions. What's the story between you, Dave, Sarah, and Clearwater Chad? There's no real story. Dave, I don't know if there's a story they're telling. Dave was very helpful with me and Jeff Richards, and I don't think he was that. I think Jeff Richards is over exaggerating some impression of him screaming, "Come on, guys, get this together." Dave's got a great sense of humor, and there's no problem. There's no problem with Clearwater Chad. The only thing is, I forgot whose thing I was doing. Was it KFC? Not KFC. What's it called? MLC or mine? And he kept saying, "Let's do it again. Let's do it again." I went, just relax. And I was called Buffalo Larry. Relax. We'll do it again. No, I said I don't really need to do it again. I appreciate you help me, but with these, what's it called? The Dabbleverse. I think just doing MLC is all I need for now. So I don't have a problem with this, guys. Why is this crooked? How do I straighten this? Do you have any Sam Kennison stories? If I knew how to do this better, I would post. There was a show Paul Provenza had. I forgot what it was called, where comedians came out, and Sam was on, and then I came on with Malika, his girlfriend, pretending to be Sam, and it was a fun bit. And Sam was a fan of mine because I did those thrill seeker jokes that I'm a badass, I'm a rebel, and I he wanted me to tour with the Rebels of Comedy, but it meant leaving Hollywood for a whole month, and I was still trying to break into character acting auditions. I said it would be a fun story to say I teared. I toured with Sam Kinison and the Outlaws of Comedy, but I thought being a whole month in Vegas would be kind of, I would get it. They'd be crazy. I'm sure I would have had stories of them doing coke and prostitutes, whatever. But I think a month would have been much. I kind of don't regret it, but it would have been fun. Sam was a fan of mine. He really, again, appreciated me thinking I was a rebel, and that would have been a fun story to do. But that didn't happen. I did see Jim Carrey on the set of Dumb and Dumber. We knew each other from stand up. Always a great guy. I bumped into him on the lot once when he was doing In Living Color. Such a good guy. Actually, I think a really underrated movie was The Mask. I think it was fun to see Rich Jenny, who sadly took his life in it. That's a fun comfort movie, The Mask. Yeah, we haven't done streams in a couple of weeks because Cody has been really busy working on. I'm gonna figure out how to sell it online. Do you have to have a Substack store? Maybe put it on Amazon, but a little comic book with our favorite Substack stories, including the one we just put in with Andy Paley. And this should show you a little cover we're working on. Okay, let me see. Where is it? Let's just see. Trying to find the cover. What's going on, Scarlett? I'm just coming on to try to get some Substack minutes because Cody's been super busy working, and let me find the cover. Working on a cover. Where is it? It's hard to get a look. We're gonna self-publish our own little comic book. You can't tell. And he's working on a Dumb and Dumber T-shirt for Ohio, and hopefully we could sell it even when I'm back home. So a cover he's working on, the comic book, a T-shirt, and we uploaded finally our latest story on Substack. So please go watch it, give it a like, give it some engagement. Oh, I don't know the Clearwater Chad stuff with date Sarah. Well, yes, that's what we're hoping to do, Scarlett. That Cody has been running around. He's going to do a test, and he's going to print out a comic book called Fred Stoller's World of Wonders. We're going to include some Norm stories, the Norm story, the Andy Paley one, and other of our favorites in a little mini comic book. So he's been crazy busy with his day job. I have Norm stories. Please subscribe to my Substack. I'm a little. Does anyone have anxiety fatigue where you have anxiety and you're fatigued? And I'm not complaining. I'm healthy. But just a few things going. Well, first of all, the effing world with the Jimmy Kimmel and the both sides of, it's just so depressing. all the stuff of the hate and the. Ooh, I remember when 9/11 happened, how we all came together. I'm not saying it's 9/11, but it feels it. So it gets. I have a friend of mine. We have lunch, and I've been trying to stay off the other social media with the news because I just can't take it. And he's telling me, he's reading the books and people have studied the Holocaust. This is a good time to leave the country, and he has his plans. And he's saying valid stuff, but the anxiety and the depression of it, I can't take a full breath. And I'm excited to go to Ohio, but I got to get the pictures in order, and I get exhausted pushing. Please come to see me. Maybe let me try to sit outside, get some air. And I and ooh. So whenever I get a Substack story on, and this one with Andy Paley is a very personal one. He was one of my best friends who died last year, and I was going through a lot of breakup. Um, the election craziness. I fell into a severe, crippling depression where I couldn't make it to the hospital to say goodbye to Andy, which I planned on it anyway, and he died, even if I could have made the trip. So what am I saying? I'm saying I don't even know what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to. So when I put the so oh, it's Andy was very dear to me. So when I put out a Substack story, I put this anxiety. Oh, why aren't people embracing it? This is a personal, interesting story, I think, and it's hard these days to with algorithms to get. You may have an original, nice story, but you know what people are reading. Oh, screw you. You're on the left. You're on the right. You're this. You're that. So I do keep checking and checking. Why aren't more people liking it? Blah blah blah. New subscribers, all that stuff. So okay. So I this story was dear to me, and we put it on Substack. And again, as they say, don't cling to the results. Just be creative. Put your story out there. No big deal. But I've napped a lot. That's why I'm having what's it called? Uber Eats deliver. So yes, these are strange days. I have an Andy Kaufman story. It's like the wait, there's Joaquin Phoenix people celebrating some getting unalived. You're a legend. I don't remember who was celebrating in the Joker when someone got unalived. Hmm. Yes, I miss Cody. He's just so busy and running around. I really love the new thing the cover. So I'm gonna make it a big poster and frame it for my office. So what am I saying? I'm just trying to get some watch hours, trying to connect. I remember a friend of mine who I knew wrote for Rolling Stone and did an article about Andy Kaufman. And I used to have a job in the 80s when I had one of my last day jobs before I started making a living as a stand up comedian, which Charles Zucker brags. He taunts me when we get together. I never had a day job. You had to hand out tickets for CBS shows. Okay, he didn't do that. I imagine he would do that. No, I'm just kidding. I was handing out, and I see Andy Kaufman, and I say, I know Dave Hershey, who wrote that article about you and Rolling Stone, and we had I wouldn't say a discussion, for about 40 minutes, not exaggerating. Maybe it felt like 40 minutes. It was a long talk where Andy Kaufman was telling me serious stuff. They want him to be Latka. He felt he was raped in the article, but he was talking in some West Indian accent. Hey, Daladish, why did they do that to me? I don't can't remember what the accent was, but I didn't go, why are you talking like that? I didn't say dude because I never used the word dude until maybe 5 years ago. Dude, why are you talking? I just nodded. So that was my one Andy Kaufman encounter. So yes. But does anyone have that where you can't take a full breath with anxiety? I mean, this. I'm trying to stay off the internet. I mean, off. I did have an app, Substack, and Substack I love because, like I said, it's writers and bloggers put their stuff on it, um, and you get to see it explained, displayed like a novel, like a graphic novel. It's so cool. Where at TikTok, you can't really display your writing. It's for writers and illustrators, but it's all that same people with different sides so virulently, it's a big word, against each other, attacking each other, um, on Substack, which I thought would be a creative thing, but it's like it became Twitter. Threads isn't as bad, but it's those guys that are always doing a bit, even off stage, must be exhausting. Yes, don't hang out with Charles Arthur Winston Zucker. Off stage, he brings a xylophone and he does shtick. My one political thing I'm going to say is, and I'm not judging, because I could be a hypocrite. I could be afraid to say things. These are crooked, or is it this thing? Like The View, I guess ABC is telling them they're afraid. But Whoopi Goldberg is probably at least 70, probably a few 100 million. And I'm not saying I would do something different. I'm just wondering, I'm not critiquing Whoopi Goldberg. When do we get afraid, stopping to just of losing our livelihood when you're pretty much older? I'm asking even for me, I may be like that one day. It's just I'm not judging because it's just interesting. I mean, I've seen, yes. Oh, I don't know. Maybe they were warned if you do say something, it's not, is it a live show? We'll edit it out. So don't bother. So maybe they're not bothering. No, no, she has to. I mean, there's some people like there's a new world with Substack where people like Jim Acosta, Don Lemon, Rosie O'Donnell, all points of view. You can have a platform and people can subscribe. I have only a few subscribers that have paid, which is fine. I just want my stories to get out there and people to appreciate them and have a little community. Yeah, I couldn't really say dude. It wasn't much of a thing even till about 10, 15 years ago. I don't think. And now it's a I felt weird saying it, dude, hey, dude. Like here, I'm the Doug Benson guy trying to seem hip with a young hat. And Doug Benson, hey, dude, man, I'm young, man. I say, dude, I like Xbox, dude. It seemed like too pathetic me saying it. But there have been a few times where someone has said something, a friend, I went, dude, come on, you got to say it. The network just wants to get rid of the show. This is just an excuse. Talk shows aren't bringing in the money anymore. That could be true. Again, what I just said about Substack and about YouTube and even Howard Stern, I don't know what's going on with that. Where, again, what's that guy's name? Nick Mullen? I've only scrolled a few times, but I heard that's going to be, he's going to be enormous. He's enormous now, is what I'm hearing. but without needing a platform of a network. Look what he can do. So I think the Jimmy Kimmels and the Howard Sterns, they could do what they want on these YouTube things. Like here I am groveling to get Substack subscribers, and Adam Freeland. Wait, Nick Mullen. Wait, who's who? Yeah, okay. Adam Freeland is the guy. Nick Mullen is the sidekick. Is he like the taller kind of? They both have glasses. Okay, Adam Freeland is the guy's name. You mean yes? Nick Mullen is not doing it, but I'm sure he's making enormous money. I was curious. Like Adam Carolla got rid of Bald Brian, and how much could I wonder how much he was paying them? I'm going to say something. I'm going to be ballsy. Adam Carolla has much money, but I think he's cheap. Always bitching about this guy. I put the brick in myself. He wanted to charge me $4 for an extra brick. This is as controversial as I'll get. Is Adam Carolla a stand-up comedian? He could rant, but I don't think he'll do. When I've seen clips of stand-up, it's just getting them riled up or they applaud. I'm an old guy. To me, stand-up was, he just riles them up like a cheerleader. He's a great ranter, but I think a stand-up comedy is like a craft, and I'm not saying I am crafty, but he seems like he got rid of his sidekicks when. How much could they have been making, the Bald Bryans? Is that what his name was? Jimmy Dore. I don't know much about what he does, but I had a friend who is addicted to Jimmy Dore, who I can't talk to her anymore. Oh, that rhymes. She was addicted to Jimmy Dore. I can't talk to her anymore. And I'm well aware now. If I say anything about someone will put a clip on Reddit. What I said about Bert Kreischer was out of context. And again, I said something, someone asked me about Brendan Schwab, which, like Adam Carolla, they didn't really go to the stand-up clubs. Well, you can't compare the two. So I got to be well aware. Anything I say will be taken out of context. So I said about Adam Carolla that my gut is he's cheap, and I think he is great at what he does. He's a radio personality who made a. But if you're saying who's a great stand-up, I would put a lot of people before Adam Carolla. I'm saying that. And not his biggest fan of this stuff. All right, he's not funny. Toddy said that. What else do I think that they could clip on Reddit? What else? I don't know what I'm saying. Jimmy Dore. So someone I know, she became this rabid conspiracy nut, and she's addicted. So I don't know what Jimmy Dore is doing on his show. Yeah, he's a bored Adam Carolla. You could put it on Reddit. I don't care. That he's the get off the porch guy. I'm the get off the side guy of my place. He's become get off the porches for a long time. My favorite comedians. Okay, I'm going to get back to it. Let me try to stay with one thought, though, which I forgot what was. That's why I'm trying to deal with it. Here I am ranting. I hear a bird chirping. So nice out. Let's remember what the real stuff is. Okay, yeah, Jimmy Dore. Andy Kindler said that he was hacky, which I never saw Jimmy Dore's act, and he came up with a gimmick. I think a lot of these people, there's some left people, which I'm more left than right. I am. Who even left people. I see they weren't making a stand up. They really leaned in on both sides and got hundreds of thousands or more Substackers and Instagram than me, because some of them, I wonder if they're more embracing it for a gimmick. It's all showbiz. There's a line in a John Lennon song. It's all showbiz. So I remember seeing Jimmy Dore before really embracing Tucker Carlson. Yeah, Tucker, and they just want to get attention, which I do too. So I'm not going to criticize, but I'm just commenting. So they really embrace something. They go with something, is what I'm thinking. Hello, Laurie. Yes, the festival. He's on the spectrum. I don't doubt that. He lacks empathy. So I'm having a little anxiety with a bunch of things where I can't take a full breath. I can't really eat so good. I'm not complaining. I'm getting some Postmates. It should be here. So I decided stop freaking out about how am I going to pack my photos and scripts for Ohio. I told myself I'm lucky that I'm getting a little guarantee. Plus, I had to watch all these films to be a judge, and then they said I'd watched them all, and then I couldn't figure out how to do it. I said I don't care. I do know, forget my ego, that there will be some people at Maumee, Ohio next week. Will it pack? Maybe not, but maybe I'll go inside. It's beautiful out, but maybe I need an extension for the plug. That's what I should get. I'm going to get an extension out here. So just packing, and I don't know. It's okay. Mail them or UPS. Yes, yeah. Yeah, there is a lot of that Ted E thing where it's I don't know if it's suffering. I think it's like, let me see if the Postmates came. All right. Here it is. All right. I think it's like when sitcoms for a while, people were complaining they were very mediocre when they used to have sitcoms on 4 networks all night long before reality TV took over. And I think in the best of times, in the golden age of sitcoms, I mean, I grew up in the 70s, there was only a few great ones. So I think there's only so many great stand-up comedians. And let me bring my food. So there's a lot of people that, some former sketch people from SNL, that some of them are more competent, will sell out a comedy club. Let me get my silverware. Because they're a personality, a comedic personality. It's not stand-up. Okay, now I'm just spewing. I just thought of something. A lot of stand-ups these days aren't like the old school people that did the format of 6-minute hunks of jokes. I'll tell a long story about hanging out at the Emmys with so-and-so, and then they went in the bathroom and did mushrooms. And they're good at those stories. But then again, there's a lot of, like I said, former comedic actors who will tell a story. Hey, remember my catchphrase? Let's all do the dance. Talk about being on a set when they worked with Christopher Walken. I'm just making it up. And they got into a fist fight. And Christopher Walken came over, and then they said, let's get high, and it's a good story. But it's, yeah, so there's that. Well, Comic Legends, if you're tuning in late, which I guess you are because you asked that question, I'm very excited. Well, we're on Substack, where we just put out a new one. Please subscribe to my Substack, or at least like it. We did a story about my good friend who died, Andy Paley. But Cody is working right now, his night job, and he's working hard when he's not working there, of designing the cover and putting together a little comic book. We're going to debut in Ohio, and hopefully sell. I don't know how we sell it on Amazon. I'll figure out how to do my label maker. That's my little rant. I know. I'm saying Adam Carolla is good off the lawn guy. Maybe I'm gonna get off the lawn guy about comedy. So let me try to answer who's my favorite comics. Well, I love the late great Norm Macdonald and Gilbert Gottfried. You know who is new, and he's really great, is that guy. What's his name? Tim Robinson? Tim Robbins? No, Tim Robbins is an actor. I think you should leave. He's a combination of Jerry Lewis and Adam Sandler. I think Robert Smigel is a genius. There's a lot of people I appreciate. I like Anthony Jeselnik. You know, it's a really, back then, I need cold water. You know, I like Tubi. Just you can watch things that you don't even think about. You know, it's a simple but underrated Jim Carrey movie, The Mask. I went on YouTube. I went on the internet and I said, best Jim Carrey comedies, and I guess they go for, well, Dumb and Dumber, of course, but they'll go for Liar Liar. The Mask is simple but really good. Yeah, Dom Herrera is a good friend, actually. Let me get some cold water. I'm going to see him tomorrow. Yeah, like I grew up loving Mad Magazine and, stuff like that. I love Monty Python. Yeah. There's something about The Mask I like better than Ace Ventura. I think that a simpler time, just the guy working at the office, So eating some Indian food, and I'm excited about the festival. We'll do some streaming there with Bobby Carradine from Robert Carradine is a good friend of mine. He's going to be at that thing in Ohio. He wasn't in Dumb and Dumber, but we'll be there for the weekend. Revenge of the Nerds does not hold up. The Mask holds up. Dumb and Dumber holds up. It was things they would not do today with they put cameras in the girls' dressing room to watch them undress, them both Asian and gay stereotypes. And he put on a mask to pretend he was the girl's boyfriend and had sex with her, which is not consent. That's why, James. It's just and I watched it. It was hey James. I was talking James. If you're the James C, who's a good friend. My anxiety. I've been having anxiety where I can't even. I just a fatigue. I'm just going to eat a little and then microwave a little bit more tomorrow. Revenge of the Nerds, and because again, it's this flaming gay black guy in it, an Asian guy with the buck teeth and stuff, and it's sort of rape where he puts on a Darth Vader mask, pretends to be her boyfriend, and they have sex, and then he takes off the mask. That's that's not consent, and it doesn't feel like it holds up. Not just the anti PC stuff. That's um, well, maybe it does. I don't know what I'm talking about. Truman Show. There was a shock to it. Yeah, no. There's I haven't been to a movie theater since last Christmas. I saw the Dylan movie, and a friend said, "Let's see the Spinal Tap." It's not a movie you gotta see in a theater, and I gotta tell, I don't know why this is going to get people more mad than a Charlie Kirk comment. I never got or was in love with Spinal Tap. I don't know why. Maybe it's just something you got to grow up with. Maybe I was older and watch it over and over. The video cassette. Well, I'm a little bit too old for Ghostbusters. It came out when I was not in high school, a little older than it. I don't know. Maybe it's that those guys. Okay, I don't know. They're just so. I think I appreciate what Spinal Tap did, meaning that whole genre they created of. I mean, I love Fred Willard in those Christopher Guest movies. I'm so blessed to have been a friend and work with him, a genius. But Spinal Tap, maybe I just watched it once, and it's one of those things. There's a bunch of movies I didn't fall in love with first time, like Jackie Brown. That's my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie. Didn't do much for me in the theater. Then I was watching it, the scene with Samuel L. Jackson and Robert Forster, the bail bondsman, and I went, oh my God. Another movie I didn't fall in love with. I didn't ever fall in love with, but I saw the Wolf of Wall Street, whatever. I was at a friend's house. He had it on. I go, I didn't appreciate it the first time. You ever have that with a movie where the first time, for whatever reason, wow, Wolf of Wall Street, whatever, and then, oh man, I get this. I love Jackie Brown. I love the bail bondsman, Robert Forster, Max Cherry. I love that it was a different part of LA than the usual LA stuff, like a middle-aged love story. I thought it was great comedy lines, even though it's not joke like a Will Ferrell comedy. So that's my big controversial statement that I never really was nuts about Spinal Tap. Oh, that's a good point, Raphael. Yeah, I'm looking for yeah. Anything else? Yeah. Get the place ready for the cat sitter. I got all these channels, uh, so he'll be happy staying here. And I got now a baseball channel. He's a big baseball fan, my friend who watches the Cats when I'm gone. And See any, let's see who emailed. What is, oh yeah, I'm just hanging out. 40 minutes. All right, we're getting a few Substack hours. What are they called? So Cody is going to pick me and Bobby Carradine up at the airport with Mike, who booked us. He's his friend, and he may have a little thing next to us where he's going to do caricatures, and we're going to try to sell our Dumb and Dumber T-shirts and comic books. Happy birthday, Raphael, who just texted. These guys are going on a thread. So it's all good. I mean, so in Adam Carolla's divorce settlement, she had it that he's on the spectrum as evidence or something. Okay. I won't be hard on him for not being compassionate because he does seem like he's on the spectrum. I may join a gym. We still have heat waves here. A Revenge of the Nerds remake. Good question. I don't know. Well, the Nerds won. You could argue Big Bang Theory is the nerds getting the girls and all that stuff. Good question. The Nerds remake. I don't want to sound snobby, but I've been watching French movies from the 60s because they remind me of my childhood. They're familiar, but not familiar. It doesn't remind me of anything. Well, I can go, oh, that's Louis Guzman. That's Oliver Platt. Oh, he works all the time, where they're familiar, but they're not. French noirs from the 60s. Belle de Jour. I got into these French movies because one of our Substack stories was about the time I auditioned for The Hunger with Catherine Deneuve and Bowie, and I never saw it. I said, I should finally see it. I always avoided it because I was supposed to be in it, like as a zombie, and didn't get the part. And I really like Catherine Deneuve. She's in Belle de Jour, which is a crazy movie. All-time TV show is it's hard to say because you love a show and then you either watch it to death or outgrow it. Like a show like Breaking Bad, I loved it when it was on, but then it was so revolutionary back then, but then it becomes other shows, trying to be like it, and you forget how amazing it was because it was new at the time. Same thing with movies. Oh, by the way, you 11 people, there's a new app. It's a fun app called Letterboxd, where you don't get all the stuff of the world, where you mark down the movies you see, and you have followers and you follow people. I've been getting a lot of cool recommendations, just scrolling what friends watch on Letterboxd, a movie, an app about movies. 400 blows. That was great. Yeah, like I said, they just had, you could see how Scorsese was influenced by a lot of them, and um, yeah, French New Wave. So I'm enjoying that. Larry Sanders. I remember when I wrote on Seinfeld. I worked on the lot. Um, Larry Sanders was filmed on the same lot, and that I remember walking with a writer and go, look how pretentious he said Gary Shandling is. He's sitting in his limo, but it turned out it was a scene that we're filming for Larry Sanders' show. But yeah, yeah. I had my friend Greg. You know, he's been on. He's talking about he has relatives in Portugal and also in Australia. He may leave the country. He's smart, but yeah. Oh my god. So the funny thing is about Revenge of the Nerds. I saw a movie with James. You didn't like it too much. I saw you only give it 2 stars. I appreciate it. I just appreciate the French look, the gangsters. Let me open a window. But anyway, let me put the AC on. What was I saying about? What was I just saying about? Oh yeah. So the funny thing with the making of Revenge of the Nerds, a friend of mine, well, I used to know, Eddie Deason, was the nerd in Greece, and they didn't want him for Revenge of the Nerds because the problem was it was a studio movie, but they still had to be attractive. And Bobby Carradine was, he still is a good-looking guy. They called him the ugly Warren Beatty. He got a lot of women. Oh, you see a movie with him, he'll just tell you, I was with her and her. I mean, older movies. So, and they had Anthony Edwards from ER. So they wanted them to still be appealing, even though they were nerds. So, um, so at first he didn't want to do it. You know, he's a good guy. Hopefully you'll meet him in Ohio. They brought him in. Goes, I'm not a nerd. I beat up nerds. I get women. I drive a motorcycle. I like a good steak. And then his agent said, "Hey, dude," not us. He said, "Dude." He goes, "This is a studio movie. They want you for the lead." And he went, "All right." And he dressed up as a nerd for the screen test and got it. What is this guy saying? Gregory and David. Mr. Show, I couldn't get into it. It was too hip and cool, and you know, I appreciate it. They're smart, but I was maybe. It's like the cool kids. All the cool kids were on it. When am I going to do Clear on a chat show again? I mean, actually, I was going to reach out to Kevin to do MLC again to plug, Ohio, but it gets, I just been overwhelmed. I can't even figure out. I want to get a PO box I have a PO box here. I haven't used once, and I got too big a PO box, and it's expiring. I go, "Oh, let me get a smaller one." I can't even figure out how to do the application. Right, Chloe? You want the lap? I'm still eating. Kevin, yeah, Kevin said don't eat, but you know, and then Wood yells at me for having bad lighting. So, I just figured I haven't done this with Cody in so long. You need a ring light. That I thought I would just say hi, say why Cody's so busy. Um, and just try to get a little. I haven't gone for the watch hours in a while. Someone said if I didn't do a stream a certain amount of time, all my watch hours I've accumulated would go away. So I said I better do one, eating or no eating. Right, Chloe? Right? Chloe hates Lonnie because Lonnie watches the place, when I'm gone. And a few times I've had Lonnie over with friends to watch a movie, and she hates Lonnie. Lonnie represents me not being here. I had a few friends over. We watched Suddenly Last Summer, a movie with Montgomery Cliff, Elizabeth Taylor, and I forgot who the third one was. Elizabeth Taylor, Montgomery Cliff, maybe just those two. What's her name? The one, Katharine Hepburn. And then um, none of my friends liked it. Uh, and then, the hell was that? I started watching A Place in the Sun. That was really good. Yeah. What was I saying? I don't remember what I was saying. But no one liked. Suddenly last summer. It's a funny coincidence. I put a group of motels, I think, did an 80s music video called Suddenly Last Summer. And who was the star of it as the love interest? Robert Carradine was in Suddenly Last Summer. Then suddenly, well, this is good. This helped me to take my mind off because I just get lost on threads now and all the hate and everything. So this was a good break. Suddenly last summer, I think my friends didn't like it. It was campy because it was based on a play and very, well, dramatic, like not so much a movie and a little simplistic, the ending. I enjoyed it. I appreciated it. I didn't know much about Montgomery Clift, that he was gay and studio didn't want him, and Elizabeth Taylor fought for him in the movie. Uh, yeah, A Place in the Sun I want to watch, you know. Yes, over dramatic, Tennessee Williams. But I still, it's still worth seeing these movies. Right, Chloe? You just got fed, but she wants to be part of it. So I think we're going to try to do another stream before I go to Ohio because I think, oh, I'm excited when Cody finally gets the cover done. We're going to post it on Instagram. If any of you know how to sell these, like, do we go to Amazon? We'll be asking you those questions. All right, I got to be honest about Stuttering John. I, you know, don't begrudge him. He made a career for himself. I kind of, I'm kind of a pussy, if you want to say that. I kind of don't like when people annoy people. He once did something where Darryl Strawberry, who I loved, had colon cancer, or you got ass cancer, and I never even loved punked. Even celebrities, like, just don't bother them. I was on Crank Anchors, and I felt guilty for these people. They have some crummy job, and some moron like me, and they edited a lot. We'd call people for half hour and wasting their time. So I'm not a fan of even what's his name? What's that guy's name? The smug guy. He's really big on the rehearsal. Kevin Can Help, whatever that thing is. Like, he had these people like own a bed store. They're just some schmuck, and he's kind of again wasting their time, mocking them. Like, I'll make your store better, and I get how clever it is, but um, uh, Summer Place. Tell me what that's about, Jeff. So I'm yeah, I was never in love with those rat pack. What do they call whack pack people? I don't know John Melendez. Maybe he's a nice guy. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't know what he does now on his. I'm sure he's not playing pranks on people, but yeah. So Scarlett, Stuttering John was a sidekick on Howard Stern, who stuttered, and the joke was he'd do man on the street things and stutter, but just yeah, I get it. It's uncomfortable, cringy. I mean, I have mixed feelings. Borat, some of his stuff is genius. I mean, the gay guy Franco, whatever his guy's name is. All right, it's making me laugh. Who would? Or he did some character where he's singing about, I don't know, to rednecks about catching Jews. So some of them are pretty amazing. Yeah, Borat, whatever the real guy's name is. Yeah, Nathan Field. Yeah, that's not my vibe, Nathan Fielder. It's just that kind of, yeah, deadpan, I'm deadpan, just mocking the crap out of regular people. Like, we're going to help you. I care about you. Um, Not a fan of the Nathan Fielder stuff. Uh, um, that's a good point. Awkward comedy isn't funny to people who are awkward in real life. That's a good point. Um, but yeah, I mean, I gotta say the balls. Um, well, he's a gay guy. Like, one of the jokes was he adopted a black baby, and yeah, he's. But I'm not still not the biggest fan of even a Borat or what's his name, Ali G. But he's. I give him credit. He's a yeah. Crank Anchors. I felt like guilty doing that. Um, the studio. I can't articulate. Greg, you got to watch it. And I watched it a little bit, but I can't articulate why I have a resistance to it. Like, well, I won't watch. I tried. I can't watch Lisa Kudrow. What's it called? What's it called? The Comeback. Entourage. I love things about showbiz, but uh, I've been in the situation of the Comeback or the guest guy. Entourage. I've been around assholes who, hey, let's get chicks in a pool party. I don't want to be around that. I do love some stuff about old showbiz to make, you know, like a movie I just watched, an old one from '75 was Places in the Heart with Jeff Bridges about the making of a Western in the '30s. Now, James, help me articulate what did you hate about the studio? main characters being morons. That's a good point. Um, but yeah, is it that it's just that it's so cartoony. Like another show I have a resistance to because of my trauma of like comedy clubs in New York is the marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Mrs. Maisel, it just viscerally, I couldn't tolerate it. I thought I wouldn't like the White Lotus and Severance. I mean, not Severance, Succession, because who cares about rich people? But I gotta say, they won me over. I couldn't care about Schitt's Creek. It was like, hello, and like, oh, that was so much mugging. I couldn't care about that. I gotta tell you, at first I had a resistance to hacks. All right, I gotta be honest with you guys. Don't tell Chloe. I have some habits I won't get into where my new thing is to try to punish myself. But every time I do these things I don't want to do, like at first, I forced myself to watch that John Hamm show, which I effing couldn't stand. And I watched all 9 of them. Your friends and neighbors. Who cares about this piggish guy and his daughter's tennis lessons and keeping up with the Joneses in Connecticut or wherever the hell? So I said, I'm going to make my watch because I first tried hacks and said, I don't want to be. When I opened for Norm for a year, it was exciting at first, but it's depressing being backstage at Vegas, the casinos. So I said, all right, I'm going to punish myself. I made myself watch hacks, and I got to say, I may have been too quick. There's something I was sort of liking about it. But at first, I had a resistance to it. But yeah, is it the studio? They're all too cartoony, like, and it's a gag fest of seeing Bryan Cranston on something. I'm gonna I'm gonna do a gag on Seth Rogen, and we're cracking each other up, and it's yeah, I don't know, you know. Well, you know something about Shawshank Redemption. That's tied with Dog Day Afternoon for my favorite movie. But I've seen Shawshank Redemption so many times that I almost wore it out. So some of them, you know. Mm. I haven't tried that. What do you think about that, Jeff? Somebody somewhere. There's a show. Started watching, thinking would punish me because there's smug people in it. It wasn't bad on Hulu called Dying for Sex. It has some smug people in it who annoy me. But I gotta say, it wasn't bad. Interesting concept. You know, it's a show I was punishing myself with that was annoying, but then it's not on Max anymore. It was called Search Party. All these like 30 something Brooklyn assholes, smug people I won't hang out with in real life. It stars what's her name? I never know how to say her name. The one from you know what show I could not stand, and it's going to be sacrilegious to some of you. Um, what's it called? It's that girl from Search Party. I never could stand. Um, don't tell me the name. Jeffrey Tambor. I'm going to hide the comments. House Arrest. Is that what it was called? No, not House Arrest. Jeffrey Tambor was on House Arrest. Don't tell me that was it called. I'm scared. I hope I don't have to mention it early, but I can't think of the name. You know, Jason Bateman. They're all just, again, rich people with flaws, and I just couldn't stand it. Arrested Development. All right, I gave up. No, not Mad Men. Your Friend's a Neighbor. He was just a rich guy who lost his job and started robbing other rich people to keep up with the Joneses, and couldn't stand anyone in it. But I watched the whole season because I kept messing up. There's something too hip and cool about Arrested Development. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. There's something, but at least, Jeff, we agree about the studio. All right, all right. I only have 6 people, so I'll sum it up. Here's my list of shows that were great for 3 seasons and shouldn't have continued. Dexter. Again, how are we going to buy for 8, 9 seasons? Every episode, he kills someone, builds a kill room, no one's on to him. They did the follow-up with Dexter's son, where it made sense, where Dexter killed someone, but then the rest of the series was them trying to figure out who killed this person and onto Dexter. He killed probably 80 people on the Dexter series, and then none of them. The trail never went to him in any kind of way. It got too cartoony. Where I know they're making money. Not got too hot. I'm too cold. I know they're making money, and they wanted to keep it going. Where that got ridiculous. Justified. The first 3 or 4 seasons, great characters, but no suspense. It's like Batman, Rayland and whatever. Walton Goggins and the other guy. They're not going to get killed. You knew the last episode would be their showdown. So it was like a Batman James Bond movie. It got ridiculous. It justified, my opinion, went too long. Suspend my disbelief. I know, but we were in a world with The Sopranos or Breaking Bad, where any main person could die, and The Walking Dead. That was fun, but then it became so repetitious. We think we found sanctuary. It's not. And you knew the hunky motorcycle guy wouldn't die, and the 3 or 4 main ones will never die. But then they'll tease you, whatever the hell. The Korean guy, I forgot his name. We're going to have someone die, and then, yes, The Walking Dead got a little too stupid. That should have been 4 or 5 seasons. Dexter. So that's my rant about series that I just quit on because they're just stretching them. All right. We got a Substack hour for Cody. Any other questions? This helped. This helped ranting, not looking at the anger of some of these people. And I'm going to continue getting ready for Ohio. Suspend my disbelief. Yeah, it's like, but it's no different than Batman. Oh, those pretzels. They were so addicting. Yeah, pretzels, pretty underrated. I never cared about a dip with chips. The chips were enough. Well, yeah. Well, yeah, that. Well, you shouldn't compare Justified or Dexter with the Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner cartoons, but it became as ridiculous. Hmm. Well, thank you for hanging out. We'll get Cody back. Again, he's working really hard, putting a little comic book together, and he's doing good. So I will try to do a stream before Ohio. And for those who don't make it to Ohio, we'll do a stream from there. And hope you thank you for hanging out. Any last questions? No? All right. Yeah, Cody's. Oh, yeah, he actually did have a cold. I don't know how you knew that, Jeff, but he's just been working hard. He was a little run down. I don't know how you knew that, Jeff. I should have something behind me. So, all right. Jeff, Scarlett, James, everyone. This was a fun hang, and we will talk soon. Good night, Raphael.